Zungu, my son, has now gone to court and said, hey, I was with these people. He's like, Njani, lapho sengixakeka khona. Sengibuzelwa nabasolwa.
And I'm bad like the Barbie. I'm a doll, but I still wanna party. Things felt like I'm ready to bend. I'm a 10, so I pull in a 10. Like Daddy, Stacy, all of the Barbies is pretty. Damn, all of the Barbies is bad.
Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nogwazi Ndombela, also known as Kwazi Bear on all social media platforms. Do subscribe, be a part of this family, and if you are a returning subby, welcome back, darling. Now guys, as you know, every week I give you updates in the Senzo Meyiwa trial. This week I'm doing things a little bit different. A lot of people have been asking me to speak about Baba Absolom Zungu's statement or interview that he did, I think, a week ago, and I wasn't really planning to do this, but I was like, you know what? I should give the people what they want. I should give the people what they want. So I'm here to do exactly that. We're here to speak Absolom Zungu. We're here to speak main witness in this trial, basically from Ukininda's version. So without wasting too much of your time, guys, please do like this video. Please do comment with your thoughts and what you think of my thoughts, and also don't forget to super thanks. So guys, please do utilize the thanks button. Listen to no more 10 rand, you guys, no more 15 rand, you understand, so that this channel does get to grow. So let us get into the interview. Baba Absolom Zungu. Now, I do have about 16 points that I did take down with regards to Baba Absolom Zungu's testimony, and before I get into the interview, I just want to point out for people that are not aware, Absolom Zungu is the father of Constable Zungu, who did testify in this trial, who alleges that he was with the accused on the night of the incident a Basotho hostel in Vosloorus. Now, the funny thing about this particular evidence is that all along, Zungu did not have a statement in this particular docket. The statement that he deposed was only deposed in 2023, right? So all along, Zungu was never a witness in this case. He was never a factor in this case. So Ukininda in his testimony does say that the person who actually gave them the lead to finding accused number 1 and 2 was Absolom Zungu. So let's get into that and actually break it down. So Absolom Zungu in his interview, the first point that I have noted down is that he said that his son said that Kininda says the people that do actually find the killers or give information on the killers of Senzo Meyiwa will get promotion. That is one of the things that he says that Zungu had told him with regards to this whole Senzo case. Zungu became involved because he was promised a promotion. He does say as time went along and Zungu continued to talk about the Senzo Meyiwa case, he said that he wanted his father to be involved in this little plot to basically give out the killers of Senzo Meyiwa. He says to his father that he doesn't need to use his original name. When he gives a statement, he can just call himself Ukhumalo. Now this is interesting because Zungu then allegedly tells Ukininda that, hey, Ukhumalo is this person, Ganje Ganje, and he gives his father's contact numbers. Now, the father says that Ukininda does call him, and when he calls him, he refers to him as Mfoka Khumalo, and Baba Absolom is on some, no, I think you've got the wrong number. Aksi Ukhumalo lo Zungu that is speaking. My apologies. He did not say Mfoka Khumalo. He said Mashobani, right? So he then says, oh, Zungu, how do you know Sizwe Zungu? And Absolom then says, no, Sizwe Zungu is actually my son. You see, that's how now Kininda gets introduced to Baba Absolom Zungu. Baba Zungu then says that Kininda did once call him to say they need to meet up, but then in this meeting he told Baba Zungu that he should not tell anyone about the meeting. Baba Zungu then specifically says that the people that he was with just told him, hey, there's something dodgy about the situation. Why is it said that you are going to meet with this particular person, but you're not allowed to bring anyone and you're not allowed to tell anyone where you're going? So just don't go. right? The fifth point that I have written here is that Baba Zungu then says that Kininda is now saying that he had a meeting with him, which is shocking to him, brand new information to him. Baba Zungu, Kininda, how can he say he had a meeting with me? And then he mentions Abo Buthelezi, he mentions Abo Makubo, and then he mentions another gentleman. He even says he doesn't remember the name of the gentleman, but Yayu Msutu, a Sutu speaking gentleman. He says, Kininda says that he met with Absolom, right? And then he says that he did meet with particular people. However, he was not taken to the police station when he met these particular police officers. And he says that if Kininda is insisting that he is the one that deposed the statement, then he would like to see his signature. He does emphasize the fact that his signature has not changed. He does emphasize that even at work, all the documents at work, they have the same signature. If indeed the statement that Kininda has in court is his, where is his signature? And he also says that every time he signs, he also uses his fingerprints. So where is his signature and where is his fingerprint? Now, another point that he points out, which I found very intelligent of Mr. Zungu, although he's elderly, he does have some kind of understanding of how the law works, because he says that number 6, this is point number 6, he says, if I was indeed the person that gave Kininda the information about the accused, why is it when the accused are arrested, I am not called to come and identify the accused as the person who gave the information? That's where he says he gets confused about the whole thing. Uguti how Kininda says that I'm a witness that deposed the statement, but then he goes to arrest people and he no longer includes me, kind of thing. And then when he's asked if he has any knowledge about the Senzo Meyiwa case or Senzo Meyiwa's death, he says he knows absolutely nothing. He came back from work one day and he found out that Senzo Meyiwa was shot, and the only reason why he knew about the shooting is that he was told, and he knew Senzo Meyiwa because obviously he was the national goalkeeper, and that is the only information he knows. He knows nothing about who shot Senzo, when they shot Senzo, where they shot Senzo, and he mentions nothing about a fight Kwanongoma where people are mentioning killing Senzo Meyiwa. Point number 8 that I have is that he then says, there is a point in Zungu's testimony that shocked him. I want to directly quote him. He says, "Lapho sengixakeka khona sengibuzelwa nabasolwa," which means the point of confusion for me, and it's a question that I'm asking on behalf of the accused as well, is the issue of a hostel. He says now, it is said that he heard his son, right, when giving his testimony, saying that he was with the accused at the hostel on the night of the incident. That's where now he's confused. How these people have been coming to me saying they don't know anything about the death of Senzo Meyiwa, they're investigating. But now Uzungu, my son, has now gone to court and said, hey, I was with these people. He's like, Njani. Absolom is like, Njani. How did that happen? Point number 9 is that he was asked about knowing the accused, and he does say of the 5 accused there, he does know the 2. So I think this is where Kininda's made up statement, that I'm putting this in inverted commas, comes from, because he says accused number 1, Usbiya, is from like in the village. So he the area in which they stay at, I know that houses are not too close together. So when he says Owala around, he is saying he's within the vicinity of that village, right? And then he says that Untanzi is related to him through the mother, Yake Baba Zungu, or something to that effect, right? Then the point number 10 that I have here is that he blatantly denies ever making a statement to Kininda. Blatantly denies it. And point number 11 that I have here is on the issue of Unkani, where he says that Zungu then asks his father if he knows Untuli. He says Untuli or Runkani is his other name, and if he knows his girlfriend. So Baba Zungu is on some, I'm too old for these things. If I even were to meet Unkani in the streets, I wouldn't even recognize him. I don't know the person, and I wouldn't even know Indabazama girlfriend, no Matandana and all that. He then says that he eventually stopped Constable Zungu from visiting the homestead because every time Zungu would come home, it wouldn't be to discuss the issues that they had in the family. It would constantly be about Iqalala Senzo Meyiwa. So stop coming to our home because you're not coming here to resolve issues that we're currently having in the family. You're constantly here talking Senzo Meyiwa, Senzo Meyiwa, Senzo Meyiwa all the time. I did forget to mention that in the midst of the conversation, Baba Absolom Zungu does mention that at some point Gininda did come with a white lady to his home or to meet with him, and he doesn't quite remember the dates in which they met with this particular lady. He does again emphasize the fact that Gininda did not call him as a witness, and he doesn't understand why he was not called as a witness. So when he's asked if he's willing to actually come and testify, he says, well, he's not willing to come and testify for Gininda because the chance for Gininda to use him to come testify has long gone. So his understanding is that Gininda never called me to come and identify these people if he says that I made a statement. Now, what would he be calling me to court to come and do? Kind of situation. And then the 15th point is that he says, if anything happens to me, if anything at all happens to me from today going forward, just know that it is my son and Gininda who are involved. Now this, guys, is massive because now everybody knows that should Baba Absolom Zungu be unreachable, should Baba Zungu disappear, should Baba Zungu have a death, then Zungu, Constable Zungu and Gininda will be to blame. And then the last point, guys, that I'm going to touch on is that Gininda does call him at some point and says to him, "Useyambalegela," so he's basically running away from him. And he does say that the only reason why he's moved from his house is because he had moved one of his wives from the homestead. And the reason why the wife was moved was because of family issues that they had. He even goes as far as saying the first time he's actually attending court is the traditional court, if I'm not mistaken, whereby he's actually sorting out issues that they're having in the home. So that is the reason why he's moved, and I'm guessing that is the reason why Zungu and Gininda are unable to get a hold of them. Now let us get into my thoughts on this interview. Now these revelations for me are massive, and I don't understand why mainstream media is not covering this sort of thing. It's sort of like they are pushing a certain agenda and they don't want the public to actually know the truth. Uzungu coming out and saying that he doesn't have a statement, for me, says where in this case we've been saying that there's nothing against these 5 accused, but we're in this case because it is said that Zungu gave information. So if the Zungu that gave the information did not give the information, and he is adamantly saying he did not give the information, where does it put this case, ye state? And the reason why I didn't really want to talk about the issue ya Baba Zungu is because it isn't before the court, but it is something interesting. It is something that will work very well in the defense's case when the defense's case does come through. So those are my thoughts on Baba Zungu. Gininda is giving skelege. Gininda is giving skeleke, guys. It is shocking that Baba Zungu has come out and said, you know, I never wrote the statements, I never deposed of any statement. Gininda, yes, has been coming with my son, and my son has been trying to get a promotion at work, and I've been constantly telling him that if you're gonna get a promotion at work, let it be through your hard work, not because of lies or not because of a case that you were never involved in, that you want to actually involve yourself in. But we are here. Baba Zungu has spoken, guys, and I do hope and wish that God does protect him, so that should the defense need to use him, then he is a witness that's going to be very, very valuable. In fact, even if he's the only witness for the defense, the case will be closed. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget super thanks, please. Shapani super thanks button lapo nithi twa. It's 20 randi, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.